I'm back once again with another episode of FourScore this week, so let's jump straight into our mission. Which modern indie arcade game has that one more credit factor? I have titles from a variety of genres this time, a couple I'm familiar with already and a couple that are completely new to me and rather out of my comfort zone. As usual, at the end of the episode, I'll be ranking all 4 games from wood through to gold on the FourScore leaderboard. So let's take a look at our first contender. I'm beginning with Donut Dodo, the game that inspired this entire episode. This plays like a lost Nintendo cabinet from the early 80s. It's heavily inspired by Donkey Kong, though we have a giant dodo instead of an antagonistic gorilla, and our hero is Baker Billy Burns rather than Jumpman. Your task is simple: gather all the small pink donuts, then leap onto the large glowing one to clear the stage. Just like Donkey Kong, there's a great variety of layouts here, each with its own unique hazards. Like the marauding toilet that chases you down like a turdy Terminator in stage 1. Donut Dodo is a tough nut to crack. Even after hours of play, I've only managed to wrap around the harder levels a couple of times. For those seeking a higher score, you can collect the flashing donuts in a specific order for a massive bonus, which is vital for earning extra lives. I usually can't resist going for these, which is almost always my downfall. The flashing order of the donuts forces you to bounce all over the level rather than taking a safe path, making excellent use of the screen wrap mechanic. Ever since I first played this as a Game of the Month on the Evercade, I haven't been able to put it down. The pixel-perfect presentation and spectacular score are the frosting on this very tasty treat. It pays homage to the classics, but it's no clone. It has plenty of its own ideas to ensure it stands tall in its own right. We have a strong contender for the crown here, but let's see how our next game handles that one more credit challenge. Moving from the bakery to deep space, let's look at Galacticon. Galacticon was completely new to me until I started researching this episode. The influences here are clear: the Spectrum classic Jetpac, alongside Midway's Joust and Defender. Jetpac is the main touchstone here. You're zipping around a single screen stage, scooping up tiny creatures and depositing them at the bottom, instead of ship parts and fuel. Defending these creatures is where the Defender influence kicks in, and these creatures all belong to different tribes. You could just chuck them in the rescue containers in any old order, but like any arcade game worth its salt, there's a nuanced scoring system hidden under the surface. Rescuing 4 of the same tribe earns you a big bonus, but mixing them can lead to intertribal conflict where your rescues actually kill each other. It's a brilliant risk versus reward system that forces you to ignore certain colours to chase the highest score possible. There are even QR codes at the end of a run to add yourself to a global leaderboard, which is a cool idea, though I found it a bit clunky in practice, as the timer often ran out before I could get my phone to cooperate. While I really like the idea of Galacticon, it hasn't quite sunk its teeth into me just yet, though I'd love to spend more time uncovering its secrets. I'm still waiting for Galacticon to truly click, but the next game on our list didn't just click, it practically took over my week. This one really took me by surprise. This is a genre I have very little experience with, the bullet hell vertical shoot 'em up. Super XYX is actually an indie sequel to a Dreamcast game called Neo XYX. I went in with an open mind, set the difficulty to standard, and got absolutely destroyed on the Demon Womb stage. It's a significant difficulty spike 4 stages into the game, yet I persisted. The unlockable system here is surprisingly deep. Just by playing, dying and destroying enemies, you gradually accrue points toward new ships and modes. Whilst playing repeatedly just to unlock stuff, something unusual happened. I began to learn the levels and get better at the game. I actually started to get half decent at it. Before I knew it, I completed the game for the first time with the Hell Tiger ship. Using tactical bombs to stay alive and Hell Tiger's concentrated fire, I finally saw those end credits. By this point, I was completely hooked. The visuals and soundtrack feel like a late-stage cave coin-up, and the controls are razor sharp, even on a wireless pad. Super XYX has set the bar incredibly high, but we still have one more final arcade-inspired title to essay before we head to the leaderboard. This is Annalynn. Like everything else we've seen today, Annalynn styles itself as a lost arcade cabinet, but this time the influence is unmistakably Pac-Man, transplanted into a 2D platformer. Gold nuggets replace dots, red jewels replace power pellets, and snakes replace ghosts. I love the colourful, cute aesthetic and the classic interstitial scenes between stages, but I must admit, I'm absolutely rubbish at this game. If it weren't for the unlimited continues, I'd never have seen the ending. It became a war of attrition, chipping away at the stages until I beat them. Because the game gives you unlimited continues right out of the gates, I never felt forced to develop my skills the way I did with Super XYX. It's by no means a bad game, but out of the 4 today, it's the one I connected with the least. 4 very different takes on the arcade spirit, but only one can take the top spot. It's time to see how they all stack up on the FourScore leaderboard. It's for that reason that I'm awarding Annalynn the wood trophy on the scoreboard. It's charming, but perhaps I just need to hone my skills further to truly get it. Moving to the bronze rating, we have Galacticon. It's a fun, nuanced experience, but it didn't quite grab me as hard as my top 2. Much to my own surprise, Donut Dodo takes away the silver trophy. It's a highly addictive, polished loop that will keep you entertained for hours. And that means that Super XYX earns the gold trophy. I never could have predicted that going in. There was a time when I wouldn't have even considered trying a bullet hell shmup, yet here I am giving one the highest honour. Which of these 4 modern indie arcade classics would be your pick? Or are there others that you know about that could go into a potential Volume 2? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you want to know when further episodes of FourScore are released. I'll see you in the next episode. In the meantime, take care.